Yeah, you read that title correctly. One Piece and Eminence of Shadow is going to be added in Anime Vanguards in the next update. That's what we're going to talk about in today's video, so watch till the very end. Also, if you're not yet subscribed, then don't forget to like and subscribe, because at 50k subscribers, which we are super close to, we're going to be doing a giveaway that's pretty decently sized to celebrate this pretty important milestone for this channel. And yeah, let's get started. Alright, so here's what I'm going to be doing for these two sneaks right here. So by the way, Sid is a very highly requested unit, extremely highly requested unit. A lot of people want him to become a Vanguard unit. We're going to talk about this, and we're also going to be talking about this Katakuri sneak peek that we got. So here are the facts. One Piece was okay. We're gonna first talk about One Piece. One Piece was discussed in one of the stages. It was the update 4.5 stage. They actually discussed One Piece, and they probably, looking back at it now, they probably discussed One Piece because they were probably planning on doing a One Piece update. However, because of how strict One Piece is with their copyright and with their IP, they can't really just outright make, you know, super identical stuff to One Piece, because they could, you know, risk getting copyrighted, especially because of how big Anime Vanguards is compared to other games like Anime Last Stand, right? I mean, even Relseas had problems with this, Blocks Fruits had problems with this back in the day, so Anime Vanguards is probably gonna get into some trouble with this as well. So here's what I think with One Piece, okay? They're probably testing out Katakuri as a world line unit. This means Katakuri is likely going to be a world line unit, and this is because if it was going to be a One Piece update, they likely would have showcased Luffy first. And also, if it was going to be a complete One Piece update, it would mostly be units that are not going to be very identical to the actual, you know, characters in the anime or manga. You can't make one-to-one models of these anime characters. So Luffy will probably be like Luffy or something like that. It'll probably look like, you know, someone very different, and Katakuri will probably look like Donut Master from AnimeDefenders. So yeah, they really can't make One Piece a very big update. This is probably more of a test to how they're gonna be adding One Piece into Anime Vanguard, seeing how people are gonna respond to it, seeing how, you know, people are going to like it or dislike it, or maybe check if they could get hit by a copyright strike if they add someone like Katakuri into the game. So that's probably one of the reasons why Katakuri is most likely going to be a World Lines unit, and it's not really going to be a One Piece update, because again, this is most likely just a test to see what's going to happen if they actually add One Piece characters. Now, as for Sid, since it was confirmed in the previous stage that Vanguard units are always going to be unrelated to the actual update theme. So for example, if the update is going to be Eminence of Shadows, the Vanguard unit cannot be from that anime. So similar to how in Anime Vanguard's update 3, whatever anime that was based off of, Gojira was not part of that main update theme. So this means that if One Piece is going to be the World Lines unit, because by the way, it is confirmed that the World Lines unit will go away in the next update. So yeah, we will be getting a new World Lines unit in the next update. It means that Eminence of Shadows is most likely going to be the anime that's gonna get covered in the next update as an update 5.5, which means that Sid most likely will not be a Vanguard unit. However, they did talk about on stage that they were not gonna be ruining Sid and that they're gonna do Sid very well. I do think that they can make Sid a very good unit, especially because of how highly requested this unit is. So chances are this unit is still gonna be very good. Now, it could still be the other way around, like maybe they're gonna make Sid a World Line unit and they're gonna make Katakuri or One Piece an actual update 5.5. But think about it this way, One Piece is too big of an anime to make an update 5.5 update, right? They're not gonna reduce One Piece to a 0.5 update. Basically, what this is most likely being is them testing out how players, again for the 100th time in this video, to test out how players will react to their version of the One Piece characters, because again, they can't make it, you know, one-to-one or very identical. So it's most likely going to be like a non-copyrighted version of these characters. So this is probably going to be a test to that, and maybe if it's successful, we're probably going to get an actual One Piece update in the future. And as for Eminence of Shadow, Sid is most likely going to be a secret, mythic, or exclusive, and not a Vanguard. Most likely we're going to be getting the Vanguard in update 6, but that's a long way off from now. So that's pretty much it for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.